Mariners win 71-55 on the season. They've won 8 straight. They've won the first 2 games of the series against the Chicago White Sox. Quickly go over how it happened. Andrew Vaughn singles home Luis Robert in the first inning. That did give the White Sox a 1-0 lead, but the Mariners answer back with 2 on a Mike Ford single that scores Teoscar Hernandez, and J.P. Crawford dumps a ball into left to score Dominic Canzone 2-1. Mariners get some insurance with a Josh Rojas homer to right center with Mike Ford on base to make it 4-1. In the 6th inning, the Mariners get 2. They call Ty France. Calling this an infield single, scorekeepers suck. But hey, good for Ty France. He gets an RBI single, 5-1, and Cal Raleigh hits a sacrifice fly to right to score J.P. Crawford. That makes it 6-1. White Sox get the next 2. Elvis Andrus grounds into a double play that scores a run off Isaiah Campbell. And then Andrew Benintendi homers off Gabe Spire in the 9th to make it 6-3. Andres Munoz comes in and gets the final out to pick up that save. Before we get into the positives and negatives of this game, let's talk about the good folks at Simply Seattle and thank them for sponsoring the show. We really appreciate it. And one thing we also appreciate is how good the people of Simply Seattle are and how good their products are. The Seahawk hat, I love this. Mariners, Seahawks, Kraken, Supersonics, Huskies, Cougars, Sounders, anything Seattle sports related, you can get at Simply Seattle. They've got the best quality stuff. The stuff they make themselves is also awesome. I can't tell you how many people stop and say, hey, you're beautiful, but also that Ken Griffey Jr. MLB logo man shirt is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And I say, you're right. Go get it at Simply Seattle. Tons of great Julio hoodies, tons of great Felix Hernandez stuff. The great shirt that they have right now with the Come to Seattle for the Shohei Ohtani experience. I love it. And you can get it at simplyseattle.com. The other thing you can do is you can save 15% off your order if you use promo code MOLLYWOP15. That's MOLLYWHOP15. Thank you, Simply Seattle. www.simplyseattle.com. This was not a good baseball game. If you were a neutral party, you're probably doing a few angry sighs before seeing what's on the other channel. Because this just wasn't a very well played game on either side. And if I'm being completely blunt with you, and maybe I'm a victim of the expectations I have for the Seattle Mariners right now, if the Seattle Mariners would have been playing a good baseball team, I don't think they win this one. But they didn't, and they did. They didn't play a good team, and they did get the win. That makes 8 straight victories. That's the second 8-game win streak in the span of 19 games. This is awesome. This is awesome. And we will talk about some negatives, other than the fact that, again, this was not a well-played game, not a well-paced game. This is not one Rob Manfred is putting on the highlight reel. If Rob Manfred creates highlight reels. The negatives. Cade Marlowe really struggled today. 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts, but he did look good defensively. For those who missed it, Julio Rodriguez did not play today. He's dealing with a stomach bug. Dave Sims, I thought, made a really good point that with the weather that's going on in Chicago, it's supposed to be 100 degrees during the day game. Wouldn't shock me if Julio misses another one. It is what it is. I mean, we want Julio healthy. That's what I mean by it is what it is. There's no one's accusing Julio of not being tough or anything like that. Don't play your star center fielder in 100-degree heat when he's got a stomach bug. Totally fine with that. If he's in there and he hits a couple homers, I'm fine with that too. But there's no criticizing Julio Rodriguez for sitting this one out. But Marlowe has looked good in center field, but he was not good with the bat today. And you're starting to see why he's not a future star. He's had some bad offensive moments, especially lately. Still like him. Still been more than impressed with what I've seen from him as a rookie outfielder. Still think he's a lot better than AJ gosh damn Pollock. But you're kind of seeing that there are weaknesses. There are weaknesses, and that's why he's more fourth outfielder than future star. And, you know, it's kind of answering the question a little bit of, hey, what are you going to do when Jared Kelenic comes back? Well, you're making Cade Marlowe your fourth outfielder. Big Dumper gets an RBI and he draws a walk, but he missed some pitches down the middle of the plate. Ty France gets credited with that hit in the RBI. Folks, What are we doing? Are we just going to say if anything involving the lights is just not an error anymore? Because that's the most blatant error I've ever seen in my life. A little chopper that goes right to Yohan Moncada. Yeah, he kind of loses it in the lights a little bit. It's a ground ball. It's a little chopper. How's that a hit? If he fields that remotely cleanly, Ty France is out by 15 feet. Good for him. Teoscar gets a couple of hits, and he hit the ball hard a few times, but had a couple of really bad at bats with, I believe, both times with the bases loaded. One time he hits a little chopper right to Moncada, who good for Hernandez for hustling, but should have been a double play. And then he pops a ball up too. That was a very hittable pitch. He kind of struggled tonight. It was a misleading 2-for-5 game, but Teoscar Hernandez has been so good in August that it's tough to complain. Pitching. I thought Bryan Woo looked okay. I didn't think he looked great. I don't think he looked 4 innings of 1-run baseball good. But he didn't look horrible either. I think he definitely took advantage of the fact that White Sox lineup outside of Robert and Jimenez is pretty awful. Didn't have his best command. Improved as it went on, which is not surprising because, he had a long layoff. Very long layoff. So I think getting 4 innings of 1-run baseball, we certainly sign up for it. But I also think, we're a daily show. We're going to react to stuff. We're certainly happy that Bryan Woo was able to get back on the mound from an injury that probably didn't exist, but we'll talk about that some other day. We're happy with the overall results. I think you can also say that if he would have been facing a good lineup today, we're talking about some different stuff, in my humble estimation. Saucedo struggled. The last couple have not looked great. Overall, positive experience for sure, but have not been terribly impressed with Saucedo in these last two. Isaiah Campbell was okay. Trent Thornton gets out of it. That was nerve-wracking, to say the least, to see him pitching against the 2 decent hitters in the White Sox lineup. Gabe Spire gives up the home run. He looked great those first 2 batters, and then, of all people, Andrew Benintendi, I think that's the second home run he's ever hit there, and one of them was with another team. Crazy. Then he just give up a little blooper hit. I thought overall he still pitched really well. And the positives with the pitching, and then we'll get to the hitting, I guess. This is a weird one, folks. Andres Munoz looked great. Gets the strikeout. Nice that he only threw 4 pitches. Certainly will be available tomorrow. Justin Topa probably won't be available tomorrow, even though he only threw 11 pitches. He had to get 4 outs, and typically you see guys who have to do the warm-up and all that stuff. Anyway, Justin Topa was fantastic, and I don't think we've sung his praises enough. Justin Topa was not wanted, and he's been, savior's too strong a word, but massive. It's been so big that he's a reliable high leverage reliever. Imagine me telling you that to start the year, that Justin Topa, a guy nobody wanted, nobody. Seattle Mariners probably passed on him a few times too, is doing that. Doesn't miss a ton of bats. He's not a big swing and miss guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he's so hard to square up, and he throws strikes. He's been huge. And again, really nice job by Munoz, striking out a very good hitter in Luis Robert and alleviating my concerns, as he's done for most of his career. Still very young guy, still has some stuff to work on. And I still don't know if he's 100% healthy. I can't imagine he is, to be honest, but this bad version Bad version. Bad version? Like, it's hard to get the things right. Uh, I don't know, folks. I don't know. Uh, yeah, pitching was okay. Nice to face a very, very bad lineup, but the pitching was okay. Crawford gets on twice. Suarez gets on 3 times. Took some really good at bats today. Very impressed with Suarez, and once again, just a absolute star defensively. I know we haven't talked enough about Suarez's defense. Oh, I would vote for him for the Gold Glove. I get that Matt Chapman's going to win. That's just how these things work. But I would vote for him for the Gold Glove. Mike Ford had a really nice day today, too. I know I've given Mike Ford a lot of crap. And I'm going to continue to give Mike Ford a lot of crap because he's deserved the crap that I've given him. But if you want to get on 3 times and make me look like an idiot, bless you, Mike Ford. Please, please do it. Because I'm happy to be wrong when it comes to good things for the Seattle Mariners. Very nice game today. A couple of really good at bats, hit a couple of hard balls, looked painful as heck when he got hit in the knee. So hopefully he's okay. But really nice day from him. And Josh Rojas scores a couple of runs, hits that big home run. I got to be honest with you. Before Rojas hit that home run, I was watching the game with my grandma today. And we were like, are the Mariners winning? It just doesn't feel like it. It really didn't feel like Seattle was ahead. And all of a sudden he hits that home run and we see it's 4-1. It's like, oh, they're really ahead. It didn't feel like the Mariners were playing well at all. And they still are up 2-1, apparently, and then now up 4-1. It's nice to win games like that. This was not a well-played game by either team, but you win. The better team wins. The much better team wins. No complaints. I guess a little complaints because I just talked about a bunch of negatives, but overall, great. You've guaranteed a series win. What are you now on this road trip? You are 8-1, right? Yeah, because you've won 8 straight and you lost the first game in Kansas City. Yeah. You got a chance at a 9-1 road trip. And I don't care that they were playing Kansas City and Chicago for 70% of the series, folks. You win 9 of 10 on the road, you're doing some stuff right. You are doing some stuff right. And you have George Kirby on the mound against that crap factory of a lineup, against Michael Kopech, who has no idea still how to throw strikes. At some point, you just got to make him a reliever. I probably would have done it already. And I think he has the stuff to be one of the best relievers in baseball. But he's not a starter. He's just not. He doesn't throw enough strikes. Will I be shocked if he strikes out 14 tomorrow? Nope. Not even a little bit. But I certainly like the matchup on paper for the Seattle Mariners. And this is awesome, too. As we're recording this, it's the top of the 7th. And the Arizona Diamondbacks are leading 6-3. If that result holds, you are talking about the Seattle Mariners being 1 game back of the division. 1 game. 1 good thing and 1 bad thing, and you are division leaders. I almost said division champions. It's a little premature. I don't know why that came out like Lupinella. But there's a very good chance that you wake up tomorrow and you see that the Seattle Mariners are 1 game back of the division lead. Unfortunately, we'll talk about some scoreboard watching. Houston wins. Toronto wins in extras. Which isn't so bad for the Mariners. You gain a game on the Orioles. But you're still only 1 game ahead of those pesky, pesky Toronto Blue Jays. It's just This was a weird one, but it's so much flippin' fun to win. Like, if you just watched the game and there wasn't a scoreboard, you'd kind of feel like the Mariners didn't win today. There is a scoreboard, and they did win, and they've won 8 straight. They are 16 games over 500, which means they are 20 games over 500 since the 80 game point. They were 38 and 42, folks. They were 38 and 42, had just lost 15-4, and nothing looked good. Appreciate this. I know it's happened 2 years in a row. This doesn't happen very often. Tomorrow, like I said, George Kirby against Michael Kopech. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 now, folks. It's like 115 more, something like that. It's so appreciated if we could get to that. It's now realistic to get to that mark by the end of August. And I mentioned it, but pay attention on Thursday. I know the Mariners don't play Thursday, but I will have a video where I give you a chance to win a Julio Rodriguez autographed rookie card. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit like. Follow me on all those websites. Sports Sometimes tomorrow with my buddy Levi Weaver. And the first Sportstopia podcast is coming on Thursday with my buddy Drew Silva. I really would appreciate you guys checking that out. I'll make sure and link to all that stuff when it comes, but be on the lookout. 8 straight. Wasn't pretty. Don't care.